10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
In the Western world, Xanadu conjures up all kinds of fantastical images, from the palatial mansion in the classic film Citizen Kane to the 1980 musical fantasy Xanadu starring singer Olivia Newton-John, or maybe even a continent on Saturn's largest moon, Titan.
The question of why are we going into space? One of them is, maybe you want to know how to deflect that asteroid that would render us extinct. That's a good reason to go into space.
The reality is, we could begin our dream by building a moon base today. We actually do have the technology and current estimates.
We want the exciting things that we see in sci-fi, and like sci-fi movies and books, we want that to come true one day.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Think about the future. It's just, if we're out there exploring stars, it's so much more exciting and inspiring than one where we are forever confined to Earth.
So it's hardly surprising that we're already making preparations to set foot on Mars and to create the first permanent colony outside of Earth.
Utopianism is the ism of utopias. It means a belief or interest in a perfect world, or at least a world designed to be perfect.
Just imagine a world where you will hold your entire future in the palm of your hand, when a tiny glowing crystal will guide you through an existence in which each day is more wonderful than the last, where it will be possible for you to obtain the fulfillment of every fantasy, the satisfaction of every vanity, the absolute attainment of every wish.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives.
Forsaking terrestrial observations, I turned to celestial ones. And first I saw the moon from as near at hand as if it were scarcely 2 terrestrial radii away.
The 5 etchings in Siderius Nuncius are based on the drawings Galileo made while looking through the telescope. Galileo's observations are the foundation of our basic understanding of the universe.
You have been called the Leonardo da Vinci of our time, the Benjamin Franklin of the space age. How would you describe yourself?
As a very average human being.
Buckminster Fuller, the man you just heard from, is an engineer, inventor, mathematician, and philosopher.
An author, a designer, a scientist.
Buckminster Fuller won the gold medal for designing the geodesic dome, the strongest structure known to man, from the American Institute of Architects.
Not only is the geodesic dome the strongest structure known to man, but it utilizes the least amount of material to cover the greatest amount of space.
Googie was the architecture mode born in Southern California, which came to express the space age, and the art of living movement was formulated by a new generation of designers seeking to express the space age for upscale lifestyle.
As America entered the atomic age, architecture took a turn to the future. The wildest dreams of science fiction could now be realized. You could see it happen on the streets of Los Angeles. You could see that the space age had arrived.
Idea of biophilic design is how do we then design in such a way that we embrace nature, we try to bring nature into the city.
A biophilic building attempts to replace walls and windows and columns and signs and neon with leaves and bark and birds and insects.
Could it be that some crop formations serve as a medium for extraterrestrial communication? Many crop circle researchers say yes, and suggest further evidence of this can be found by examining the advanced astronomical, scientific, and mathematical equations contained within them.
This advanced base, or space station, will be headquarters for the final ascent to the moon. Our space satellite will have the shape of a wheel, measuring 200 feet across.
During the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union were in the space race. Who could develop the technology to reach the stars first?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis on a mission to build, resupply, and to do research on the International Space Station.
Houston now controlling. Atlantis begins its penultimate journey to shore up the International Space Station.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Neil Armstrong was first out, followed by Buzz Aldrin. 2 hours and 32 minutes walking on the moon, collecting rocks, conducting experiments, and planting the American flag.
The first parts of the space station went up in 1998. It was designed to be collaborative and interdependent. It's made up of these individual modules, some controlled by Russia, some controlled by the US, along with several other countries.
The space station is sort of this major stepping stone for more exploration of space, going back to the moon, onto Mars. It's to learn about human survival in space.
I think what spawned it is a lot of us felt our country, as young as it was, still is, was way behind, especially Europe, in terms of design's role in society.
This looks like a good time for some good news here. The House passed the space budget yesterday, which includes a vote for the shuttle. Wonderful. The country needs that shuttle mighty bad.
I think it absolutely is a new paradigm. So we're seeing more use cases of space beyond just scientific exploration, whether that's tourism or manufacturing. And we're seeing more easy and affordable access to space because of the addition of different launch vehicle platforms. So I think we are definitely at a new era.
For this project, I really wanted to do something interesting and exciting, so because of my love for sci-fi, I wanted to imagine what a colony would look like outside of Earth and somewhere else in space. It feels like a very relevant subject because of NASA's recent space exploration missions. and SpaceX's plans to colonise Mars within the next 10 years. It's allowed me to explore a range of different outcomes like branding, collage, publication and typography design. It's also allowed me to take existing research and put a spin on it to play with people's imaginations of what it may look like. I made my printed publication A3 with A1 foldouts because of how vast space really is, and to have these giant posters fold out of the newspaper to show collages of this new world. I also made a futuristic typeface to use in the branding and throughout the publication to add this futuristic feel. To go with my publication, I also made a series of prints and tickets for people's journey to the colony. When researching for this project, I took lots of inspiration from SpaceX's plans to colonise Mars and NASA's many space exploration missions, and also the work on the International Space Station. I also looked into the branding for SpaceX, NASA and some other space programs. I had to look into the space race and the moon landing, but also how other worlds have been shown through sci-fi films like Star Wars and Star Trek, and how the architecture may look. I'm very happy with my outcomes for this project, and I had a lot of fun making them, which I think shows in my work. I'm pleased with how my publication looks and feels now it's all finished and printed. I think it presents all my research and experimentation well, and I think the branding and print series was a nice addition. It was, however, a challenge for me as I had to improve my print, spray paint, illustration and typography skills. The only change I would have liked to make would have been some of my publication pages, as the typeface is printed with some straight edges on some pages, which it shouldn't have, but apart from that, I'm overall very pleased with how it all turned out.